Recording and transcription have started. I guess they're both in the same button now. Oh, it's actually putting it in the chat. That's interesting. Okay, so we will take questions first. I'll do a screen share of the assignment portion. Okay, so any questions about part A? Assign priorities and fill in the table to the individual signals using the deadline monotonic analysis. Explain your answer. Any questions? Just basically fill in this column. Part B, compute and fill in the table the number of bits per canned message and the number of bits per second. Explain your answer. So fill in these two columns. Any questions about part B? I guess while I do that, let me check and see if there's any questions on the discussion forum. Okay, there's a question there, but I'll come back to that because it's about MATLAB. Okay, assignment part C. Given your priority assignment, what is the blocking time of signal 5? Explain your answer. Any questions about part C? I assume you guys that watch the videos, I stress it more in my version of the videos that are up now, know the difference between worst case response time, queuing delay, blocking time, and worst case interference time. Those are 4 different concepts, and you should know the difference. Looks like the transcription isn't perfect. Okay, part D, calculate the worst case interference time for signal 5. So basically the other half of, blocking time for this one, interference time for this one. So don't conflate those things. Any questions about the handwritten assignment, parts A through D? All right, then we will move on to, so let me check my email real quick because I want to make sure it's not related to this class. It was not. Okay, so let's move on to the MATLAB assignment. Okay, very similar to the homework. Part 1, you're calculating bits per message and number of bits per second. So basically the same formula you did by hand for the homework you'll do in MATLAB code for part 1. Any questions about MATLAB part 1? All right, part 2, write a function that ranks the messages in the file by priority using deadline monotonic scheduling. So obviously you are sorting based on something. So I can give you a hint now. If you sort based on deadline for the deadline monotonic scheduling, then you can basically pass in the sorted indices, comma, colon, and that will give you, everything for these vectors. So if you're actually like, a C++ person, you're trying to like actually swap rows and stuff like that to do a sort or something, you're overthinking it. Think of it as a MATLAB problem, not a C++ problem. And so you can pull out arbitrary rows of matrices, by specifying indices into them. So try to think of it that way. Questions about MATLAB Part 2? Okay, MATLAB Part 3. Write a MATLAB function that computes the worst case response time. So worst case response time, so that includes your blocking time and your interference time and your jitters and, transmission times and all that sort of stuff, from the last couple slides of the lecture. I will point out both here and in the handwritten assignment, you do not have to do the iterative method. You can just do like the approximate method. In fact, I might be tempted to give people extra credit for the iterative method. So, but I will wait until later to figure out that part. But for now, you don't have to do that. And of course, do a write-up. So, any questions about the assignment or the MATLAB or the lecture content this week? I know there were some, a lot of mathy concepts in this week's videos. While you guys prepare any questions, I'm going to look at that forum post again. So the forum post asks, is MATLAB required for the last Part D in the homework? Yeah, so I will reply to this and say, you are welcome to do either the approximate method or iterative method for Part D. Iterative might be a little painful by hand, but it shouldn't take many steps to converge. Okay, any questions? All right, then I'm going to stop recording